Welcome to today's episode of The Intentional Life. I'm your host, Amy Selby, and my husband,
What up?
AJ Selby, where we talk about life and relationships and being intentional in all of it. We answer your questions. We literally pull them out of a jar or a vase?
Vase? Vase?
Whatever they call it. Might be a pot for a potted plant. I don't know.
Might be. Who knows? Could be a mixing bowl for all I know.
And we answer your questions. That's all I was trying to get out of that.
Yeah. Right on.
How you doing today, babe?
Great job, babe.
Thanks.
That was good. That was
learning how to do intros over here.
Nice. Guys,
I'm going to take this out now.
Jeez.
Because I only want it for the music.
Yo. Isn't my wife gorgeous?
You're so cute. Thanks.
Legit.
Oh.
Thank you, Lord.
I already have blush on, but I'm blushing.
I won the jackpot, y'all. Because as beautiful as she is on the outside, she is just an absolute treasure of a human being. And I'm really thankful for you.
Thank you.
So.
I'm thankful for you.
Well.
Want to dive on in?
Sure.
Cue Stephen Curtis Chapman.
Am I pulling them out today?
Yes.
Okay.
Go for it.
For those that are just listening, I'm stirring up all of the questions.
He's stirring the pot.
For those that are watching on video, you can see I was stirring it up. See, like I said, mixing bowl of questions. I don't know. Who knows? Anyways, also because we're on podcast, we're on YouTube, we're on both places. Make sure that you go like, subscribe, share. If you like any of our episodes, be sure share them with a friend that you think would benefit from it, that they would be encouraged by the conversation, and that they would then share that with more people, because that's how we're going to grow. That's how we're going to be able to share this with more people. And I'm going to be 100% honest. We're not in it for the money. We're in it because we feel like we're supposed to. And money would be great along the way. Like monetize the channel, sure, but that's not what we're here for. I'm not trying to out here be an influencer. I'm trying to be out here and love people. So.
And have conversations.
Yeah. So you can find us Instagram, YouTube, all the social medias. If you got a question like the one I'm about to read, make sure that you go and fill out the Google form in the show notes, in our social media links, all the things. So yeah. All right, babe.
We got a good one?
Today's question, or questions, I should say.
Daily double.
So when it comes to marriage, is what these ones are about. Someone is wanting to know about respecting, honoring, and loving each other well, and how in doing so that you can empower your spouse.
Mm-hmm.
As well as how to divide household responsibilities in a marriage.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting into the juicy nitty-gritty of life, y'all. Look, not everything is theology and, heady, mental health, figuring out relational things. Sometimes it's,
or even
who takes out the trash, my dude? Like, that's just life, though.
It was my dude that got me.
So, all right.
It's true, but that's what got me.
How does a married couple go about respecting, honoring, and loving each other well?
Mm-hmm. With intentionality. No, I'm just kidding. Oh my gosh. I had to say it.
People can get tired of that.
I'm sorry. Okay, no.
You're not wrong.
I promise I will refrain from
wrong,
saying that for several episodes after this. Yeah, it's such a simple question, but it's so good. Being able to really love your spouse well and to honor them and to respect them. Without using cliche phrases and stuff, but are you thinking about them above yourself? Are you, and not in the sense that you're a doormat, but in the sense of like, hey, what does my spouse need today? Like, what does AJ need today? What is he considering him, considering his day, considering his emotions, his thoughts? Like, man, did he have a rough day at work today? Did he have a long day at work today? Is that why when he came home and he was snippy, it was because he is just, he's at zero right now? He's at 0%. And am I going to respond out of like offense and, oh my gosh, I can't believe, and, or am I going to pause and be like, hey babe, you okay? Like, did you have a hard day? How was your day? Oh man, it was real rough. I was in meetings back to back to back, and then I had this, and then I had that, and then this went wrong, and then this, I've got so much on my plate, and I had to work late, and like considering maybe what you've been through in the day, instead of just jumping to a conclusion or, you know, whatever it is, helping you carry your load. Especially in those kind of days when you just don't have it, like, or vice versa. You know, I just don't, it's been a long, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Or in a season of life that's harder for one over the other, or whatever that looks like. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, there's so much more that could go into this question, but that's
Right.
initially what's like coming to mind.
And I mean, with that, I think, I mean, when it comes to love, honor, and respect, there's so much of that that I think in today's culture, people believe is rooted in feelings. Like,
Yeah.
I feel loving. I feel like I'm in love. And, or be like, man, that person's incredible. I respect them so much. Or, man, I just want to honor this person.
Mm,
But the truth is, it's a daily choice where I
right.
am choosing to be respectful. I am choosing to honor this individual, which is kind of what you were talking about, of like thinking of yourself less, not
Considering,
and
yeah.
yeah, just being considerate. And then and loving. There will be plenty of times through your life where you do not feel in love when you're married. I mean, just in general in life, but especially married folks, there will be plenty of time throughout your life where you don't feel in love. And you can't let that dictate how you treat your spouse.
Right. Well, and like going back to what you were just saying of, it's not rooted in feelings, it's rooted in like choice and actions
Yeah.
of, I mean, actual love, biblical love. Well, I mean, there's like, what, in the Greek, there's like the 3 or 4 different words for love, but like actual love
Mhm.
is a choice. Like, it's something that you choose to walk out. It's not, oh, I feel this, or I'm feeling these butterflies, therefore I'm in love. Therefore,
Yeah.
like, I'm going to treat you well because I love you. Well, actually, as a believer, no, as a human, I'm not going to feel that way most of the time. After the initial like dating honeymoon phase is over and you just get into the grind of life, you don't feel like that every day.
Yeah.
It's just a choice that you make every day. It's a commitment that you make every day. That like, I'm going to love you. I'm going to put you first in my life. We're going to consider each other. We're going to consider each other's opinions and thoughts and feelings and what kind of day you've had and all these things, instead of demanding that you only do that for me and I don't need to do that for you. Like, that's not what loving each other looks like.
Yeah. I think that people, they get married and they think that they're marrying the person and the feelings that they have at that moment in time. Like the way this person makes me feel right now in my life, this is life. This is, they're the one that makes me feel like I'm complete and whole, and go down the list, and I just love them so much. And it's like what you're saying, where it's the feelings, and you hit life, and it's like you have to go back to that and say, no, I wasn't marrying how that person made me feel. I was marrying that person regardless of how I feel about them till I die.
Yeah.
And yes, there are situations where
And the feelings can be great.
Right.
But
there are situations where, and we're not going into any conversation about divorce and things like that right now. Like there are different circumstances and things regarding all of that. But when it comes to, if you are in a marriage and you are committed to trying to love each other the very best you can every single day, then it comes down to the choice that you make of how am I loving this person today?
Yeah.
Whether I feel like it or not, whether they didn't take out the garbage when they were supposed to, whether they left food out on the counter and it stayed out overnight, so you got to throw it away, whether you didn't do something else they asked you to do, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah. Well, and
it's a choice to love and honor and respect.
And love also has to do with like loving your spouse well, also has to do with like having those difficult conversations when you need to have them. Like, be honest if something is rubbing you wrong. I don't mean like little piddly things. It's like, okay, just get over your attitude because this little something about them that irks you, that's really not a big deal. But like if there's something that's consistent or a big thing or whatever it is, and they're unaware that it bothers you, or they said something and they didn't even mean, have malice intent, but it hurt. Like, have those conversations. Like, don't lash out. Loving well is like choosing to forgive, choosing to ask for forgiveness, not being so like, well, I'm in the right, that you can't humble yourself and ask for forgiveness. Like, that's loving your spouse well. I think also like talking about respect and honor, like there is a difference between the two. And honor, at least the way I've always thought about honor and like seen it, is choosing to cover each other, which, I mean, that's love as well. But in honoring you, when I go out with my girlfriends or hanging out with, whoever, and they're, let's say I'm hanging out with some people and they're gossiping about their husbands and the things that irk them about their husbands, and, oh, my husband did this and blah, blah, blah. I'm going to choose not to speak about you that way because I want to honor you. It's not choosing to hide things. Oh, I don't want people to see, like out of a fearful place or trying to deceive people kind of way, but in a way that's like, no, I'm not going to talk down about my husband like that. No, like the things that I say about him in public are going to be things that are going to lift you up and are beneficial to our marriage, and to like, I don't want people hearing annoying, gossipy things about you come out of my mouth.
He snores so much.
That's different. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. And there is anyway, yeah. So I think that has a lot to do with honor. It's like, how are you talking about and treating your spouse when they're not around?
Yeah. That's good stuff, babe. And I guess that kind of goes into how to divide up household responsibilities in a marriage. And actually, before we move into that, there was empowering your spouse. I think that...
Oh, I forgot about that.
I think the way that... I mean, I think it's just an aside. I think it's just a tag to the honor, love, and respect, is that when you are making the intentional choice to love, honor, and respect your spouse, and to, help them, and whatever your situation is, I think that you are empowering them. Because when they know that you have their back, then they know that they have the freedom to move and execute and do what they need to do in life.
There's security there.
Yes.
Yeah. When I know you're not going to trash talk me behind my back, you're not going to, all those things. And you know that I'm not going to do that about you.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not going to do that to each other's faces either. We're not going to sit there and scream at each other. We have disagreements, we have arguments, but like, we're not going to sit there and tear each other down, especially not intentionally tear each other down.
Right.
When we know that, we know, okay, we've got each other's back. We're going to have hard conversations when we need to. Like, we're going to stick with that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That provides so much like security.
Trust.
And that trust, and that does empower you to, like, in your marriage, in that relationship, it empowers you to have a stronger, healthier relationship. I think that empowers you, like, gives you confidence in everything else that you do, because it's like, well, this other person said this and this about me, but whatever, my spouse has my back. Like, when I go home at the end of the day, the person that I chose to live the rest of my life with, they're not going to do that. Yeah, that's
good.
That's cool. That's important.
All right. How do we divide the household responsibilities, baby?
I mean, I think that looks different for everybody. Like, I don't know. Like, everyone has different job circumstances. Everybody has, and life changes. It ebbs and flows, at different times. And so, if you're both working full-time jobs, like, what does that look like for you? And I think also, who enjoys doing the dishes the most? Have that person do the dishes. Or, like, our agreement a lot of the time is whoever cooks, the other person does the dishes.
True.
Most of the time.
I mean, that works. And I think it's less of, I get where you're going with the whoever likes doing the dishes more. Because inevitably you'll have somebody that whatever the topic, whatever the thing is that they don't want to do, neither of the individuals in the couple want to do it.
No, I know that. Yeah.
But I think the thing to take into greater consideration is whoever has the strongest opinion about how it should be done.
Oh, that's a good point.
That person does it.
That's a great point, babe. I like that better.
Because oftentimes that's the person that's irritated that things aren't getting done the way that they're supposed to. They may not even care about actually doing the thing. They just want it done a certain way.
And they're either going to always correct it.
Yeah. If you care strongly about it, you do it.
Yeah.
To me, it's interesting when I hear people talking about dividing up household responsibilities. And I get that. Like, I understand. I don't know that Amy and I have ever really had that.
Not really. It's like, do you see it? Okay, you do it.
Right. Because we just have that ownership in the relationship where we approach the relationship and saying, this isn't 50-50. This is 100-100.
Yes.
There are times where my 100 is actually a 20. And Amy's like, hey, I'll cover your other 80.
Yeah.
And we figure it out.
And it's communicating on a daily basis. Like, who's going to cook dinner? Like, I don't cook dinner every day. Actually, you cook dinner more than I do.
True.
But it's like, we just...
Boyardee.
No. Yeah. Oh my gosh. You're a good cook. We just communicate.
Yeah.
And, for some people, it does work better to, like, have cut and dry. Like, you do this, I'll do this. For some people, that works better. But, I mean, for us, it just works better to, like, if we see it needs to be done, we do it.
Mm-hmm.
Or we communicate about it.
Right.
Also, I was going to say, like, communicate. I was going to say, especially if you're newly married. But if you're married at all and you just haven't thought about this, or you keep having conflict in this, talk about, like, on your own first individually, think about, and then come together and talk about, do you have any unexpressed expectations about it? Because maybe you grew up, each of us grew up, however we grew up, whatever family we grew up in, that did it the way they did it. The way that I grew up looked very different than the way my husband grew up. So we have very different ideas of what keeping house and, like, all of that looks like. And, do you have unexpressed expectations? and that's causing like a headbutt and conflict. Like, did you grow up? I grew up in a really traditional, my dad had his own business and went to work every day. My mom was a stay-at-home mom with 6 kids. Like, she did the cleaning and the cooking and taking us to school and buying the groceries. And my dad worked all day. And that was their agreement. That's what they, he was like, I'll take care of the outside. Your mom takes care of the inside of the house. And that worked for them.
Yeah.
For their whole marriage. I mean, that has worked for them. But your growing up looked totally different from that. I mean, to a degree, I guess not like completely, but
Yeah,
you moved around a bunch. Both your parents worked like at different points of your life.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it was completely
It wasn't
different.
vastly, but
for me, like my mom worked somewhat when I was growing up, but she didn't have a full-time job
right.
until like I was out of the house. I have 3 younger siblings, and so like their finishing growing up with my parents is way different than mine.
Yeah, that's true.
If you're the oldest child, put in the comments the biggest thing that you saw that was a difference between how you grew up and the youngest sibling grew up, because we know there's a difference.
My sister talks about that all the time.
And I will say, I'm not putting the parents on blast. We put y'all through the ringer. You get tired.
I mean, it's also just life. That's how life goes.
It is life. Things change. You're super worried about the first one. By the 4th one, you're like,
whatever, eat dirt.
Whatever, dude. Yeah, you just stuck a crayon in your nose. All right, we'll get it out in a couple days. Like, I don't know. Like,
that was a weird example, but okay.
You
Back to the topic.
You get what I'm saying. Yeah, but when it comes to what Amy's saying is absolutely right. When it comes to figuring out like how to split that up, it really comes down to you have to communicate. You have to be able to sit down and talk with your spouse without anything being accusatory or blaming anybody for maybe doing something wrong or the way you didn't want them to do it, and just have a conversation. Say, hey, can you help me as we figure out what to do with X, Y, and Z? Like, it really bothers me when the dishes get loaded in the dishwasher this way. Well, A, if you're the one that cares the most about that, do it. Also, if you don't have the time to do it, then, or if
have some grace.
And if you're the spouse that is being asked to load something the right way, love your spouse well and learn the things like that that make a difference to them, that are going to make their day, that are going to make life easier. For you to relearn how to load a dishwasher in a way that blesses your spouse it's not an insurmountable feat. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Like, little example.
Okay.
I like my shirts folded a certain way.
This is true.
Amy likes her shirts folded a different way. I would do all of my laundry myself.
Well, I do your laundry.
Let me finish. And like, because I wanted my stuff folded a certain way. And granted, it might come from any number of things, whether it's how I'm wired or time in the military, whatever it is.
It just works best for you. You like it.
It's just how I prefer it. And so early in our marriage, Amy would always fold my shirts the way she folded her shirts. I was like, I don't like how this is. I'll just fold my own shirts. Like, it's fine. Like, I wasn't asking her to relearn, but she did. She relearned how to fold my shirts, that whenever she does the laundry, which we both do laundry for the record.
This is true.
Whenever she does the laundry, she folds my shirts just the way that I prefer to have my shirts folded. And it blesses me. And I try, keyword is try, to fold her shirts the way that she likes them folded. I'm just not very good at it. So I try. Most of the time it turns into like we're there together and I like lay them flat so at least they don't get wrinkled.
Which I appreciate.
And then she folds them in her fancy way that she likes.
Then they stand up like books and you can see them all instead of in a stack, because I will never, ever wear the thing at the bottom of the stack. If I can't see it, I'm not putting it on. I see it all.
Real life.
But folks, you just want the stacks. You're like, give me a stack of shirts. I don't care.
Right. And so
it works.
But whether it's laundry, garbage, paying bills, I will say, actually, when it comes to paying bills, I don't think there can be somebody that is the primary person that like make sure the things get paid. However, make sure you're both involved in it. Like, that
Maybe
should be one of the
who's
biggest
better at
areas of
math?
communication. Who's better at keeping track of making sure stuff's paid on time?
Yeah.
That's the person that should be in charge, not the person that likes to spend a bunch of money and do fun things all the time. For those that are listening, I'm sitting here pointing at myself because that's me. I'm the spender. I like to have a good time. I like having fun. I like buying new tech. I like buying new things. Amy is much more frugal and like, to the T with
Squirrel
budgeting
away.
things. And so she is helpful. She has helped me grow in that way. And I've also helped her be okay
Loosen
with
up a little bit.
being okay with, buying herself an extra cup of coffee on occasion. And so, but because we had the open communication about it and because we know what's happening in our finances, it makes it to where it's not just that's your responsibility. It's your fault that such and such wasn't paid on time, or that why did we overdraft, or why was this much spent? Nope. You're both involved in it.
Yeah. I think that's a really good point. Finances. One person probably, like you said, needs to be the primary getting it done person, but both people need to have input. Like, do not be a dictator when it comes to your finances and be like, you butt out, I'm doing it. Or, no, that doesn't work, because you both need to know what's going on in your finances. You both need to have an understanding of that whole situation. So make sure you're communicating about that. But yeah, that's probably the main thing. That's like, make sure someone is on top of that at all times.
It's loud as crap.
That sounds so weird. Why does that sound weird?
The whoop, 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 whoop. Was that the part you're talking about?
Maybe. What is that?
It's a different womp womp sound that you can. It's literally a button in the
I've never heard that before. Okay, sorry.
So the nerd out science explanation for it. The low end, because it's lower, can be heard more through the vehicles. It's like if there's someone sitting next to you with a lot of bass in the car, you can hear their bass going, but you can't hear all the
music.
You can't hear the actual words. Same thing. That thing coming up on you going, whoop, 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 whoop. That low end is coming through and it makes you go, what the heck is that? Yo.
It's like when somebody, the things where people are like, hey, so my car's making this noise. Well, what does it sound like? And they have to make Okay, anyway, sorry.
Real life. We'll see if this makes the cut. I don't know. Who knows? It could be funny.
Anyway, we are.
So yeah, I mean, yeah, when it comes to all that, when it comes to dividing stuff up in your house, make sure that it's not being done in a way so that blame can be pointed if something falls through the cracks.
Right.
Make sure it's because that is maybe a strength of the individual that's doing it, or they just care more than the person that doesn't, or that they care more than the person that cares less. And when that's the case, things tend to go a bit smoother. But it's not because people are just doing things to get things done. It's because now there's open, honest, regular communication about what it is that's going on. And that's the key thing that helps everything go more smoothly. It's not about this is who's doing what. It's about the communication. Because, like I said, there's very little about our marriage and how we run our household at this point in time that's her responsibility than my responsibility. It's
right.
We're just figuring it out.
And we both live here. We're both going to do it.
We both live here. Yeah. We're both adults. We're here. It's ours to take care of together. And so let's take care of it.
Yeah.
So awesome. All right. Well, let's close it out with one of our little questioning thingies.
Okay. Is it my turn to pick?
Show enough.
Oh my God.
Those that are listening, I'm fanning out the cards
as we speak.
I'm extending them to Amy for her to choose what she's choosing today.
Dramatic. Hey, we haven't done one of these yet.
Oh, she's doing a say anything. Which those?
Oh, they have several questions.
Those ones have several. One. Yeah, just pick one.
Okay, hold on. I have to read through.
Oh, God. I just dropped a bunch.
Hold on.
It's fine. They can stay there for now.
That last one is funny, but it doesn't apply because we don't have a pet.
But what if we did?
But we don't.
Oh, man. For the record, I want a wiener dog.
Long-haired
Doxy. Long-haired Doxy.
Okay. I'm going to go with the first question, which says, what's the scariest animal?
The scariest animal?
In your opinion, what is the scariest animal?
Oh, man. Okay.
Really going to be different between...
No, I am going to be honest and say that for me, personally, I think sharks. And here's why. Because I enjoy the water, and background, I also enjoy hunting. So I spend a lot of time in the outdoors.
Yes.
Other people might say bears, mountain lions, whatever. When I'm outdoors, I'm not going to say that I have eagle ears, that I can hear everything, but I'm very attuned to what is happening in the environment around me. Mm-hmm. I feel as if I would potentially have a greater probability of hearing one of those critters. If you're in the water, sharks don't make noise, y'all. You're just there swimming and they chomp. That's it.
It chomps.
That's it. That's what makes it scary to me, is that I can't hear it coming.
Oh, and they're fast.
Yeah. Anyways, what about you? What's the scariest animal?
I don't know. Now you got me thinking about sharks. For the record, I do not watch Shark Week. No, thank you.
Yo, nature is metal.
What?
You've never seen that? There's an entire Instagram, shout out to Nature is Metal, where it's just critters ripping each other apart.
Oh, absolutely not. There is a reason I don't know what that means, because I would not.
Yeah.
No, I can't. Nope.
Yeah.
No.
Crazy stuff.
Okay. Weird.
Scariest
animal. Well, the first thing I thought of was a snake, but that's because I despise them. But also, don't go there. I know. I know. Okay, do it.
Nope. I'll just put it in post.
I know exactly what you're thinking. Oh my gosh, you goober. I don't know. There is you can't really hear them coming either. And they can slide under doors.
Snakes?
Snakes.
That's true.
Look.
Yeah.
No.
Just no.
Just no.
All right.
They are fast. Some of them. Like, what's the racer one? Is that Africa or Asian country? Yeah. I forget what country they're in. Oh my gosh. That is like my worst nightmare. A snake that's well, most critters are faster than me. I'm not very fast, but the snake eyes. I don't trust them.
Eastern racers are a black snake that live in North America.
Oh.
But that one's not a venomous one.
They don't have to be venomous for me to not like them.
Oh, okay.
Excuse me. It just has to be a snake. No thanks. Some of them are useful. I get that. Rat snakes, I get it. But
Are you talking about black mambas?
Maybe.
The ones in Africa?
Or they go up like this and they can chase you?
Yeah. Yep, that's it.
That's like my worst nightmare.
They can slither up to speeds of 12.5 miles per hour.
I definitely can't outrun you. Gosh, that's terrifying.
Can be 14 feet in length. Yo, a 14-foot angry hose chasing you through the savannah.
What is it? What's it called? What's it called? Badger?
Honey badger.
Honey badger? Eat snakes.
Oh, gosh.
Anyway.
All right.
Yeah, well, I don't like those.
All right. You all listening and watching, what's the scariest animal for you? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget, hit the Google form in our social media. And make sure you follow us on social media. YouTube. If you got a question, like I said, Google form. And we'll see you next time.
The Intentional Life Pod.
The Intentional Life Pod. That's what we are. God, I'm hot. That was a
long one.